Hey guys, my name's Donnie Godsey with Crosscare Ministries. If you've been following along in this series, you've gone through the 7 compasses already and should have a pretty good handle on how to use those. That's great because you'll be using it in conjunction with this next tool I'm going to show you. This next tool is called the FED map, and it functions like a multi-purpose tool. It takes care of a wide variety of issues. When you use the different elements together, it makes for an effective combo punch to knock out those stubborn issues. One of the reasons why we want to solve some of these issues from our past is because it can create pressure that affects our now, and it can give us the perception that we're needier than we actually are. Internal tensions can be a real problem. What would you give to feel less needy? Or think about it this way. What would it be worth to you if past pain or issues did not sabotage or cloud current decisions? To most people, that's invaluable. So part of teaching this is kind of get the right mindset on how to hunt down those issues. There's a variety of issues that this tool covers. It gets into who do we need to forgive? It gets into what lies we might believe. It gets into what labels we may have brought onto ourselves or others. It also touches on what vows that we could have taken and locked up on because of a certain event. It also relates to what fleshly coping mechanisms we may have brought on because of a particular wound that we got. Finally, it addresses what general need we were compensating for and how God can meet that need instead. That's a wide variety of issues right there. And no matter what issue presents from our past, we can tackle it with this tool, with this process. FED stands for forgiveness, exchange, and declaration. Again, FED stands for forgiveness, exchange, and declaration. Now, before we get into the actual process, I want to show you how it kind of relates like a map. Just picture your heart's issues being sketched out like a road map. If you were to have your GPS on your phone or on a laptop or a desktop and you were looking at some maps and you typed in like restaurants, it'll show you all the restaurants within a 30-mile radius of you. Well, that's kind of like looking at vows. What kind of vows have I taken in my life? And you make a list of it. Well, that gives you the general landscape in that one category. Or you're like, what kind of unforgiveness do I have in my heart? Same thing, gives you the general landscape of that. But to really do the work that you're wanting to do to get free, you got to take what's kind of referred to as a street view and zoom in and see how these little things that you could search for relate to each other. Think of the wound being the neighborhood. And these are the trashy agreements that need to get cleaned up and released along that street. It'll be much more effective to clean up one street at a time than jump from neighborhood to neighborhood trying to get each category. Logically, doesn't it make a lot more sense to pick up all the trash up and down the street instead of driving around town and picking up all the bottles out of one neighborhood and another, then come back through and get paper products? It just makes sense to clean up what's in front of you instead of jumping all over the place. You know how worn out you would get just going from neighborhood to neighborhood in your heart with all the emotions that would be stirred up over that? You get overwhelmed really quickly. Instead, get into the wound or the memory event and let the Lord lead you to see what's connected and what needs to get picked up and get out of there. Being a trash collector is not your identity, it's not who you are. You want to keep the right balance and perspective, otherwise that's all you're going to see in yourself and other people. And if we get unbalanced on how we see ourselves or see others, then that's all we'll see is trash here, trash there. Oh my gosh, this is trash, trash, trash. This is how God must see me, I'm trash. And that's just not true. What we're actually called to be and do is we're a child of God and we're supposed to be walking in the Spirit and following after Jesus. You only get after this trash collecting stuff when it's a distraction from doing what we're supposed to be doing in the first place, which is walking in the Spirit, and following Jesus, enjoying God around us and in us. So once you get an idea of what issues you may be wrestling with, and some of you may feel like you're getting beat up by your issues already, I'm going to show you how to turn the tables on that. I'm going to show you how to beat the living daylights out of your issues. It looks like this. I'm going to teach you how to beat the daylights out of your issues. Some of you may feel like you're in the ring with your issues, getting ran around the ring and being victimized by your past. When in fact, when I show you how powerful you are and what happens when you use the right moves, your issues are going to realize they're trapped in the ring with you, not the other way around. Now, in boxing, you got like 4 basic punches. You got the jab, and the cross, and the hook, and the uppercut. Just imagine a boxer that only knew one type of punch. That's all they did. They wouldn't be much of a threat. They wouldn't be a problem. They'd be a bit of a pushover. You know how to deal with that one punch, and there's not much to them. What a good boxer learns how to do instead is how to throw combos. And they practice them. Here are some combos I want to teach you. Forgiveness, exchange, and declaration is the core of how this tool works. Now, most people learn forgiveness as its own thing, exchange, which is a very biblical concept by itself, and declaration by itself. But when you add these things together, you have a combination of moves that can knock your issues out. So what we're going to do is break down the whole thing because it looks like a pretty big chart. And quite frankly, you don't have to go through all of it to get the freedom you need. You just let the Lord kind of guide you. We made the chart so that no matter what issue comes up, you know where to take it, what to do with it. So let's cover this chart bit by bit. We're going to cover what forgiveness is biblically, what exchange is biblically, and what declaration is biblically. We're also going to look at what the different problems are that you can solve with this, and also what roles or people would be involved in that little relational train wreck that we got to get out of our system. Because we want you to be free. We want you to be powerful and realize just how awesome you are and put the beat down on this stuff. Let's do it.